Hey, Dave here with another Drifter Dev Diary. This time I want to talk about player goals, giving the player and the main character a concrete reason to be doing what they're doing. Because it's something that this week I've been looking at a bit. Been working on this chapter 7 of my game, where the game's opened up quite a lot, and that has the effect of the player's sort of concrete goals are kind of not as clear. Like you need to walk around and explore and investigate and try and work out what's going on, kind of thing. And that can be a bit of a problem in point-and-click adventure games. So, as an example, I'll take Monkey Island 2 because that's a game that I think a lot of people have played and maybe can relate a little bit. The game starts on Skeb Island, and you're right away sort of showing this character Largo Legrand, who steals your money and is a real jerk, and everyone you talk to hates him, and he's the reason, and he's sort of made out to be the reason that you can't leave the island, because he won't let anyone leave, and you're given so you straight away you've got this goal of I've got to defeat Largo Legrand. He's this jerk, I hate him, and so it's this kind of tight player goal that's sort of quite immediate. But once you've solved those puzzles, the game suddenly opens up to 2 more islands and 3 big puzzle chains. Not that the player really knows that they're there, but basically they're the game opens up and you don't really know what to do. Like, you're just told, well, which island do you want to go to next? And I don't know. I don't really know. I'm looking for some map bits, but I don't know what they are. I guess I'll go to one of them. And each one has a bunch of stuff to do and lots of characters to talk to. There's a shop where you can just buy a million things, but you don't know what you're doing yet. And so this is something that I see quite a bit in point-and-click adventures. The game will open up in this way, and you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing, and it actually feels like a chore because you've got to. It's not that there's a bunch of puzzles to solve that you have to solve. You know that eventually you'll find what the puzzles are to solve, but you've got to get to that point of even finding what those puzzles are, and you don't have any reason to. It's like, well, I've got a very loose idea of I guess I'm supposed to be finding the treasure at the end of the game, but there's no immediate goals. And this was this was an issue I'm having with this chapter in the game. I replayed sort of the whole mock-up from start to finish at the start of the year, and this chapter was my biggest problem, because the idea was, you've had a bunch of sort of more linear sections, and here it's opened up. You're allowed to sort of explore and look around and work out what's going on. And it's a techno thriller, so obviously you end up in a secret laboratory kind of thing. From this room, the game basically opens up, and you can this is like a kind of cafeteria thing, but you walk out and you're in these corridors, and there's these sort of circular corridors with all these rooms that you can you can look at. There's different things in each one. Most of them are so this one's unoccupied. You can just walk in. So most of them just look like this, or similar. But then there's a lot of more interesting ones. And the idea is, you're meant to walk around and explore and see what sort of stuff is around. But it's got that feeling of well, I've got to go find the puzzles I need to solve, And it's the sort of place where I always tend to put down a game like a point and click, and because I feel like, there's a bunch of work before I get to the sort of fun bit of the plot, more plot stuff happening. So the solution I came up with was to give the player a very concrete goal and basically a set of puzzles that aren't really the actual kind of puzzles you need to solve the game. They're just a kind of something to give the player a very immediate goal and drive them forward. And so the player knows, okay, I know I can just explore and go wherever I want, but if I'm not sure what to do, or I don't stop that feeling of not knowing what to do, I can just go and do this very easy task. And so I'll just give an example of that without telling you what the actual one is, so I don't want to spoil anything. And this is a silly example because it doesn't really fit in with my world, but hopefully you can get the picture. They okay, so you're about to start open up the game, and the player can say like, I'm starving and I really want a sandwich. Obviously silly example. And another character that's standing there can say, oh, we'll just go up one floor, talk to the cook, and he can help you out. And so then I've got this sort of topic system up here, so I can kind of add a topic, like get a sandwich potentially. And so that means that now I've got basically a location and a place to visit that then I can go to. And when I go to that place and talk to the chef can say, well, I need some pastrami if I'm going to make you a sandwich. So basically give you another step along the way to your sort of character's immediate need. But yeah, so you talk to the chef, I want some pastrami. There's pastrami in the loading bay on the 3rd floor down or whatever. And so now, you can still wander around and do what you want, but you can go straight to the loading bay. But no matter what, you know that you've got this goal and you've got this specific thing that you've got to do. And I mean, that sounds really silly, like boring, like you go there, and then you get another fetch quest to go somewhere else. And that wouldn't work on its own. But because every step of the way, I'm actually taking the player somewhere they need to go because there's going to be interesting plot stuff happening. Like you go talk to the cook, to the chef, and there's like, it's a place I wanted the player to eventually go to so they could notice something interesting or talk or learn about something or talk to this chef guy and learn a bit more about interesting plot stuff. And so it's kind of like a layer of stuff that can kind of lead the player through this big sprawling area without them actually having to without actually making it linear, so they can still do whatever they want, but they've kind of always got something they know they can do if they're not really sure what to do. The idea is, it'll take away that feeling of like, what am I supposed to do next? I'm a bit lost. I'll just click around and what am I supposed to do? And we'll see if it works. We'll see when playtesters play it. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the solution I come up with and the sort of actual plot reason for the character. Like, it's one thing to have a character just want to kind of do what the player wants to do, which is just like go to, investigate and work out what the next step of the plot is. And, the player is usually going to want the character to just like put themselves in dangerous situations, but usually like that part doesn't always align with the character's motives. So it's good to find something where the character and the character's sort of needs and wants kind of can come through and be helpful in the game. Yeah. Anyway, that's my little topic for today. I'll stop there and catch you next time. Bye.